Right after I finished filming the video on this ring last week, I came up with a cool variation on the design that I thought would be fun to go over together today. I'll go ahead and add all of my ring videos to a new playlist on this channel. If you'd like to see more ring videos, just let me know what shape or stone you'd like to see featured, and we'll see what we can do going forward. We've already done several ring designs in my Patreon live streams on Monday mornings. If you're interested in seeing more designs like these, go ahead and check the link below for my Patreon. The stone that I've selected for this project is a 7mm round amethyst cab. We'll be using all half-round wires for this project. I have two 6-inch segments of 14 gauge half-round, one 6-inch segment of 16 gauge half-round, and 2 feet of 20 gauge half-round. My 14 and my 16 are in dead soft, my 20 gauge is in half hard. We're going to begin by taking both ends of our 20 gauge and sliding down to find the center of this wire. We have the flat side of this wire facing in, and we're going to go ahead and slide it over the top of both of our 14 gauges. I want to make sure that these two wires sit parallel to each other inside this coil and not overlapped on top of each other. Now that I have a few coils around both of these wires, we can slide our 20 gauge until it is in the center of our wires. From here, I'll begin coiling out each direction. I like to keep count of how many full coils around the two half rounds I have, so I can make sure that it's even on both sides. I went ahead and did 25 total coils down one side, and we're going to do the same on the other. With 25 total from our center point, I'm still slightly too small for a size 7. I'm going to go ahead and add 5 more full coils on each side. To double check our sizing, we're going to place our ring shank on the mandrel for the size we're looking for. And we should have just enough space where they cross over for our stone to sit. I'm going to trim my 20 gauge ending short and flatten this to the surface of our ring. For our 16 gauge, we're going to fold it in half as well to find the center, and just pinch it with my pliers So instead of a rounded point, we have a flat surface to work with in the middle. We're going to use this to secure our ring shank together. We've passed it through the center. We're going to bring each 16 gauge across the top of the ring towards our 14 gauge endings. It is important for this design for this 16 gauge to be coming towards the 14 gauge and not start at the 14 gauge going the opposite direction. Once we have this properly aligned, we can pass our 16 gauge through the ring to begin creating the bottom of our stone setting. We do once again want to make sure that our 14 gauges all sit comfortably parallel to each other and don't overlap inside this coil. I've passed it through 4 times, so we have these 4 neat 16 gauge lines on top of our ring. From here I'm going to pull the 14 gauge so that it sits flush up against our 20 gauge on the side. Once I have that in place, I can pinch with my pliers on top of the last of our 16 gauge here and bend straight up to lock that side of the ring shank in place. Next, we're going to do the same on the other side. Pulling it tight so that it sits nice and flush, pinching and bending it straight to lock it into place. From here we're going to place our stone into the setting and use the 16 gauge endings to begin locking it into place. To secure it, we'll pass the 16 gauge back through the center of the ring on both sides. From here we can make sure that we adjust it properly and that the stone is centered on top of our design. If we over-tighten on one side, we can loosen and re-tighten on the opposite side. Once the stone is secured, centered on our design, and we're happy with where it is, we can trim these endings short and flatten them to the surface of the ring. Now that our stone is secure, we're going to take the outermost 14 gauge and bend it over the top of the stone. I've gently spiraled it out towards the side here. With the inside, we're going to follow along the same line. Creating a neat spiral on the side of the ring. To secure these wires into place, we're going to pass them through the ring From here we'll flatten them into place, starting with the innermost of the two. And then following with the last of the two. With that side done, we're going to repeat the same process on the other side. Bringing our 14 gauge from the outside over flat across the top of the stone before spiraling back onto the side of the ring shank. And here we have our finished ring. A special thank you goes out to all of the names on the screen for supporting this channel through Patreon. What I am doing would not be possible without your support. If you're interested in helping support the channel, follow the link in the description below this video. If you found this video helpful, leave me a like on the video. This helps me a lot with the visibility of my videos and YouTube's algorithms. To be the first to know when I upload new content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when new videos are available. Thank you for watching, and happy wrapping.